Do 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 bum 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 do 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 bum 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 bum. News at 10 past 10. Hello, welcome to News at 10 past 10, 13th of the 11th, 2025. And it's been a week of news. In fact, a lot of news. Yeah, I've not written a lot of news down because, well, you know. But breaking news everywhere these last few days, last couple of days. So that's always interesting, isn't it? Where's the cat? What are you doing? Oh, you're down there. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll do what we normally do, which is allow anyone to join who wishes to join, and then we will take it from there. Oh, I've got right to your nose as well, which means I'm probably going to have an argument with someone. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Yeah, okay. Hi DT, hope you're good. Oh, that's a new button. What's that do? Right, shall we crack on then? We'll crack on. Crack on. So like I said, yeah, there's been a lot of news this week and a lot of breaking news literally around us, including, what's he called? Not Elon Musk, the other guy. Bezos, rocket taking off and spectacularly landing on a barge in the middle of the sea, which was quite spectacular to watch. So yeah, technology is amazing, isn't it, what they can do these days. Makes them reusable, so it makes them popular. Anyway, yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I think we'll just get on with news, shall we? So, this week's news. Friday, the 7th of November. More prisoners have been released by mistake, and many of them are still on the run. It's like a real version, or a scary version, of Hunted, which finished last week. Musk becomes the first trillionaire. Well, not yet, but there is a possibility that Elon Musk will become the world's first ever singular person who is a billionaire, which is impressive. Is Sky going to buy ITV? ITV is up for sale apparently, and Sky might buy it. Why? Why would they buy it? Because what they're buying is they're buying ITV1 and ITV2 and all that, but they're not actually buying the people who make the programmes. So it all looks like it might go to pay-per-view, which there's a lot of TV stuff going on this week, which we'll be talking about at length. Saturday the 8th, a woman was stabbed in the neck. A man has been arrested in the UK. Huge Russian missile and drone attack in... oh, sorry, I thought someone typed something there. In Ukraine by Russia. And the presenter, Quentin Wilson, has died at the age of 68. He was a Top Gear presenter when Top Gear wasn't very good, to be fair. Although I quite like Quentin Wilson, but he was very serious, so he seemed to be a bit up himself. But, yeah, seemed a nice guy and all that. Sunday the 9th, Director General Tim Davie resigns over the BBC editing of Trump's speech, as does the head of the news. But the head of the news says, we're not biased. No, I mean, you know, I've been saying they've been biased forever, and everyone else has been saying they've been biased forever, but she says they're not biased. Silence, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, yeah, it's all slightly, well, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I've stopped watching BBC news programmes that are not news programmes. I used to like Question Time, but it just went so left-wing, it was unbelievable. So, yeah, stop watching that now. Newsnight, Panorama and everything. Oi! Just stay on the ground like normal cats. She's looking at me like... there's an Uber typhoon that hits the Philippines. It's the 8th so far this season. So the weather is getting considerably worse. Remember, we were looking at hurricanes. It's in the other side of the world where Jamaica is. 10th of November, which was Monday, Trump threatens to sue the BBC for $1 billion over the sorry, $1 billion. Yeah, you can't say $1 billion without thinking of Austin Powers, can you? Goldmember or whichever one it was. I'm going to sue the world for $1 billion, and it was like, yeah, that's not a lot, really, is it, mate? So calm down there, calm down. I've got technical issues going on here as well, which is slightly weird. But anyway, let's not worry about that. Saying that the BBC is biased. Yep, we've known that for a while, haven't we? I mean, even soap operas. I've stopped watching EastEnders decades ago because every now and then it just felt like it was a government propaganda machine. Which is kind of clever, I suppose, in a way of doing it, but I don't like being patronised. Although I do patronise people. No, don't I? I don't really. I am doing now, actually. Rachel Reeves has suggested that she's unable to honour the Labour manifesto. In that case, she needs to off. It's your mate's birthday tomorrow. Have you sent Charlie a card? Oh, Kingy boy. No, we just do I'll just send him a Facebook emoji of a cake. I don't. Sikorsky is freed. The former French president, only days into a 5-year sentence for fraud and embezzlement. One rule for one rule for the other. Or maybe they're just taking a line off the UK government's policy of just letting people out willy and nilly. Or willies and nillies. Tuesday, the 11th. Hundreds arrested in raids around the country after targeting vape shops and mini-marts. Who knew that a lot of vape shops, not all vape shops, but a lot of vape shops are money laundering for serious crime? Who knew? And all these mini-marts that pop up that sell vapes to kids, a lot of them are not legal as well, and the people who work there may not have rights to wiki. They might be illegal migrants. Who knew? Oh yeah, the whole population, but the police have only just cottoned onto it now. Well done. Now you need to look at the barbers as well. I mean, how many barbers does it need, and how much money do they put through the cash register, considering there's never anyone in there? And they have to pay wages. Yeah. Anyway, it's not for me to comment. Keir Starmer says he will fight any challenges to his leadership. This is after rumours came out over the weekend that Wes Streeting, the health secretary, who I used to think was alright, but now I think is a complete plonker, has allegedly started a coup against Keir Starmer. Now the problem we've got is, Keir Starmer is a muppet. He comes out with a load of Keir Starmer nonsense. Wes Streeting, well, he comes out with big words like he swallowed a dick, shouldn't he? But I don't think he's very bright. I don't think anyone in the cabinet is actually capable of running the country. In fact, I don't think there's anyone in the Labour Party capable of running the country. And I don't think Reform are capable of running the country. I don't think anyone's capable of running the country. It's just terrifying, isn't it? What is going on. But yeah, we will have to wait and see. I'm sure that Keir Starmer will be safe because he's such a good and popular Prime Minister. But anyway, he says he's going to put up a fight if he needs to. BBC report on Trump going to sue them for $1 billion. $1 billion in News at 10. And they even admit that the Trump 6th of January speech was moderately edited. By moderately edited. Cut out a 55-minute piece within it from him saying, we're going to go to Capitol Hill and we're going to fight like hell. 55 minutes. Go to Capitol Hill, he said, and support the Congress and other people who worked there, but not all of them. But that bit was cut out, and we're going to fight for the country. We're going to fight for our country and fight like hell. BBC not biased. Have you ever noticed as well on Question Time, which, like I said before, I stopped watching, they always say that we have an audience which is representative of the voting of the last election for this area. So, for example, if they're in Scotland and it's an SNP ward, there'd be more SNP supporters than maybe Labour or Tories or whatever. But if they're doing it that way, shouldn't they do it on the percentage of people who actually voted compared to a normal election? Because let's remember, Labour won with this majority that allows them to do anything they want, with 1 million less votes than what they got in total when they were wiped out in 2019. Now, that is not a manifesto for me. That is basically apathy that's got them in, and apathy is not a manifesto. I think British politics is absolutely, at the moment. $1 billion is 760 million pounds at the current exchange rate, says Stato. Thank you. I think them game shop owners are dodgy. Oh yeah, some of them very dodgy indeed. But if you've got any money, you need to, just give us a shout. My auntie went on to ask a question. They are pre-approved questions. They are indeed. I actually got a call back. I applied to go on it when it was in Wigan, but I only realised it was in Wigan too late. This was a couple of years ago, and I got a phone call from one of the producers, and he said, what do you do, blah blah blah, and I said blah 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 blah. He said, well, we haven't got any at the moment, but what we will do is we will get back to you when we're next in the area. And then 2 days later, he rung me up again, and he said, I've been looking at your YouTube channel and the stuff that you do on YouTube. He says, and we are very interested in getting you on Question Time. And I'm like, all right, okay then. Then obviously never heard anything after that. But at least he rang me back, so that's something. But yeah, I don't think I'd be a guest. I think just ask a question. Because I ask the questions that no one else will. Yeah, that will be the one she was on. Well, there you go then. A couple of years, 2-3 years ago. Turns out 91 prisoners have been released by mistake since Easter till October. So Easter this year until October this year. And Labour blame the Tories. Wednesday the 12th, which was yesterday, Epstein files name Trump and Andrew. Trump denies any wrongdoing, and apparently the accuser of Andrew, formerly known as Prince, who sadly took her own life, said that Trump was there, but he behaved himself impeccably, which obviously isn't true because Trump can't behave himself impeccably anyway. But anyway, you can't go on Question Time and do the 10 past 10 news. I can, because Question Time is recorded at 8 o'clock. So as long as it's not too far away, I can get back in an hour and do the 10 past 10 news. However, it won't be 10 past 10 next year. I'm moving it again. You're alright. Angela, welcome. Talking about Question Time. Well, we aren't now. Starmer says there is no toxic environment in the cabinet. I believe him. I don't believe him at all. Anyway, that's it for the news. We'll do the breaking news, i.e. today's news, in a little while. But I've actually done some editing of videos that I'm going to be doing on the next Wigan Watch. But I think they're quite pertinent and worth watching right now, rather than not doing. Ruining the magic of TV, you'll tell us Father Christmas isn't real next. No, it's definitely real. I was chatting to him earlier on in the week. He's getting ready to set up in the Grand Arcade and coming to say hello. He's in his civs, obviously, because he only wears his uniform, when he's at work. But he was in his civilian clothes. Anyway, Rachel Reeves has got the budget coming up, and she's got some ideas, apparently, that they're kind of being mooted around. And also, are we heading into a police state? So, here we go. So, at the time of filming, we've not had the budget yet, but rumours are that we're going to be charging people with electric vehicles around about 3p a mile. And I've been questioning for quite a long while why these cameras have remained up in position in situ, not been removed after the clean air zone went. I've also said I reckon it's because it's pay per mile, and yeah, it looks like that's what it's going to be. Because if you think about it, they said that the information that these cameras glean go to the police and help them in whatever it is they're doing, but there's no money in that. The clean air zone was going to produce quite a lot of money, but that's been scrapped. So the only way they can do it now is to use these as monitors to see how far we drive and then charge us for it. It'll be electric cars this year, but in a couple of years it'll be old cars. Yeah, well done Rachel Reeves, assuming that's what you do, because if you don't do that, fair play. Is this the beginning of the police state that we're going to end up with this Labour government? Facial recognition currently in operation in the town centre. So here we are again. Do you feel safer or do you feel more at risk with this stuff going on? Whoop whoop. So the question is the future of Britain camera surveillance? Now, there's a few things in those two little clips that I played that will go on Wig and Watch later on in the month. The one is the CAS cameras. Now, CAS was the clean air zone, a bit like Sadiq Khan's ULEZ, ultra low emission zone that he has in London that keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. I think it's the whole of the south of the UK now, up to Birmingham, I think, is within the ULEZ zone. And it's all done by cameras, so basically you drive past one of these cameras that was in the picture there, and it will register that your vehicle has gone past. As you can see it there, it's flashing away. So it's taking your number plate of your car every time you go past. And if you're in a vehicle that ends up having to pay to go past that, which was what CAS was, basically if you're a diesel van that's a bit scrappy and a bit dirty or a bit old, then you'd have to pay to go past that camera. If you're in an articulated lorry, that kind of thing. Anyway, they scrapped ULEZ, CAS, sorry, because it was rubbish, but the cameras are still there. So I've been questioning now for the last couple of years, why are the cameras still there? And the basic answer was they're there because they're helping the police. And as I said in this clip, the police don't pay for that. So if they're helping the police, these cameras have been up there and they cost millions and millions of pounds to put up. They're all over Greater Manchester. So why the hell are they still there and why are the police using them? Because there's no money in them. Talking to the police, there's the Rozzers. But of course, if they knew that they were going to go to pay per mile, which is what I said possibly would be the reason why they are there, then it seems obvious to leave them in situ because they're all wired up, they're all ready to go, and they're ready for pay per mile. But what they're going to do is they're going to target, allegedly, because we don't know for definite, but they're going to target the people who are in electric cars. Because if you buy an electric car, you don't pay any road tax. The idea is to get more people into electric cars. Nina. Oh, they'll still get you. In fact, the police will come out and ask you to take the mask off. But the thing is, with these cameras now, and the charging you per mile, that means that the people who've bought electric cars because of the government telling them, including the Labour government, that you don't pay tax, are now going to have to pay a tax that's 3p a mile. If you drive a long distance, which you probably don't do in an electric car to be fair, because they are crap, then you're going to have to, you'll end paying more than probably I pay in my car tax. So the whole thing is just complete and utter cluster mess. And obviously once they do the electric cars, they'll then do all the cars, so everyone will pay per mile. But it also monitors where you are. So as I've said before about the 15-minute cities, Wigan has got a hospital, colleges, it's got schools, dentists, all that kind of thing. So why would you leave Wigan? You don't need to leave Wigan. So if you leave Wigan, these cameras will pick you up somewhere else, and they'll be like, well, hang on a minute, what are you doing there? You don't need to be there. And you've been there 6 times this month. That's a bit excessive, isn't it, going all the way over there? It's all about controlling you. And then you've got facial recognition cameras. Now, again, I mean, obviously I have nothing to hide, otherwise I wouldn't be like doing all this kind of thing. But it's just an invasion of privacy, isn't it? You already get it. If you walk into Asda in Wigan, which I drive past, if you walk through the doors and look up, you'll see a screen which is showing you walking into the shop with a square around your face, because it's facial recognition. That's what they use. So if you're a known shoplifter, it'll sound an alarm and it'll kick you out. But I don't understand why they need to do this. Isn't that what security guards are meant to do? I mean, security guards in Wigan Town Centre, particularly the guy at B&M's, and now the guys at the Grand Arcade, they know all the scumbags. They don't need facial recognition. It's just a way of saying, you might get accused of doing something that you haven't done just because you walked past a facial recognition camera at the time something happened, and you might look a little bit like the person who actually did the crime. It just feels like we're being monitored and monitored and monitored. And don't get me started, although I've already started now, on the mobile phone ID card thing that they're coming up with, the digital ID card. As I've said many, many times before, and I'll keep saying, your card on here, ID card, is on your phone. Your phone, even when you've got an app for playing a game, if you say accept all cookies, that app can look at your text messages, it can look at your search history, it can listen to what's going on in the room when you're talking to people. And the idea of that is so it'll improve your experience of advertisements. So your advertisement will be stuff that you're interested in, rather than just random stuff that comes up. Which is why, if it says accept all cookies, no other option, I leave the website. It's usually a website, I don't download apps. The problem with this is, it knows where you are. So your phone has got, not satellite, not GPS, but it's certainly got a way of telling you where you are. So if you go on Snapchat and go on the map, it shows you exactly where you are within about 10 foot. If you go on a walking app and you wander around and you have the app on, it will show you exactly where you went. You can even tell sometimes when you cross the road and cross back again. They're that delicate. So you imagine the government having that information. Now, to be fair, because there's millions of people in the country, there's not going to be someone sat there monitoring what you're doing. But there doesn't need to be. We've got AI. AI can monitor everything. And they can say, hang on a minute, there's a bloke in Wigan who does the same thing every week without fail. So in my case, it would be round about 6:45 to 7 o'clock, drives from Wigan to Ashton-under-Lyne, the same shopping centre thing, then drives from Ashton-under-Lyne to Staley-Vegas, and then from Staley-Vegas, by different routes, back to Wigan. Does it every Tuesday, roughly the same time. So what would happen if I started going to Lancaster or Birmingham on a regular basis? It'd be like, whoa, hang on a minute. The AA would be like, need to look into this. So you've got to be really careful. When I talk about world domination and get an advert for world domination games, it's a risk you need to take. Most of the news websites that pay or accept cookies. Indeed, so I don't go on them. Stephen O'Neill, there's been a lot of talk in the stats. No, you've been on already. Have you been away? Come back. The little green light on your phone is the one that tells you when your camera is active. So you see it on mine at the minute. It's not. But if I go into my phone and click on camera, you get the green light. You see it? Oh, you can't see it because that doesn't recognise green. But there is a little green dot there, but you can't. Oh, there you go. You can see it. Little green dot. So yeah. But yeah, you're giving your information away all the time, and that's one of the problems with this digital technology. But this facial recognition thing, I'm really not with it. I'm not on board with it at all. It's one of them things where I honestly think that there's a lot of AI BS going on social media at the minute. I mean, you know, old women fighting bears out of the house with a cat looking terrified. I mean, it's just, I mean, it does now start saying AI. Just block them, instantly block them. But press on the little green dot. I'm not pressing on any little green dot, dear. I don't have websites on my phone. I don't have many apps. The only apps I have are, there's one app I have that's a spying app that I use for the Wigan's Lost History, because I actually have to record what's going on the phone, but it's the one that's had the least people complaining about it spying on them. So I've kind of gone with that one. I can't even remember what it's called now, but it's always on in the background, or it feels like it's always on in the background. But yeah, we are being monitored 24/7. If you remember 1984, it was 40 years too soon with that. You should have said 2024, because that's roughly when all this started, to this degree anyway. Or if you go the other way to Demolition Man, where even if you swear or say something that the government or the people in charge don't agree with, Demolition Man didn't have mobile phones, but they had machines on the walls, and they'd just print out a fine, you know, for foul language or whatever, and you'd rip it off. Whereas obviously now, because we've got technology like this, which they didn't have when they filmed Demolition Man, it would just deduct from your bank account. So yeah, it's quite scary, the amount of information that we're giving away, and this facial recognition I don't think is necessary. They have it everywhere, and this was Wigan Town Centre at the weekend, and apparently they arrested a man on a scooter because the facial recognition recognised him. He's on a fucking scooter. I mean, can the police not recognise a person who's wanted who's on a scooter without AI? Is that how bad the police are at the minute? It just infuriates me. Anyway, I really shouldn't go on about this, but I'm right. Or am I? Well, nobody knows. So, shall we go on to the photo news, and then we'll do the breaking news, shall we? So, 14... Oh, God. There we go. I've already talked about it. This was Wigan Today. Drivers could soon pay 3p per mile under Rachel Reeves' reported new tax plan, which is basically to charge people who they said would get free, wouldn't get any tax. It's ironic you mentioned 1984. They recently released the BBC version of that story, broadcast in 1954, starring Peter Cushing. Alright, he also was a doctor as well in early Doctor Who movies. Doctor Who 2055 and Doctor Who Invasion of Earth or something like that, which we're getting quite regular on DVD. Need a heist movie with them as a cast. Need a heist movie with them as a cast. Celebrity Traitors. If you watched Celebrity Traitors last week, I mentioned it last week, but I didn't give anything away. It was spectacular. Absolutely amazing. And how's about this for a 70s... I mean, you can't... Is there anything more 70s than that one photograph? You may think you're cool, but you'll never be Sid James smoking a pipe on a rally chopper cool. So you've got a rally chopper, Sid James, 1970s, at obviously one of the studios, with a Renault car in the background, and then some sports car, and what looks like could be an Austin car in the background as well, smoking a pipe with a shirt with massive collars on it. I mean, That is the 70s to me. But, I mean, not to be left out, this is me in 1989, and do images get more 80s than this image? So that's me in 1989. It's a still video I did in London. And yeah, I mean, it's on VHS, so that gives it that 1980s look as well. But yeah, Shadow of the Beast t-shirt, which I've still got. Big Ben in the not Big Ben, St Paul's Cathedral in the background. But yeah, so you got 70s Sid James, you've got 80s little old me. Who did it best? Sid James, obviously. Meanwhile, the Queen saying to Andrew, formerly known as Prince, there's a 15-year-old escort on eBay for 500 quid. And she replies, "It's a car, you fat nonce." Remember the alien ship that was coming towards and killing out and going to wipe out the entire planet? It released 7 jets with glowing halo as it nears the sun. So basically, it's gone past us, nothing happens, and it's now heading either to the sun, in the sun, or round the sun. That's me. Yeah, that's me in the 1980s. Excuse me. Nose. Same nose. Same chin as well, actually. Yeah. Although I've got about 8 underneath now. I didn't have 8 then. Same little ears. Same shitty haircut. Meanwhile, Funko Pop makers admit Sid James died on stage in Sunderland in April '76. Remember him passing away? I didn't remember he died on stage, but I do remember him when he died, and it was when I was comparatively young, to be fair. Funko Pop maker admits it might not survive another year as sales crash. Funko has warned investors that it may not survive another year after reporting a sharp decline in sale and issuing a formal notice about its financial stability. It was 1989. I was young. I think I was 24. 23, 24 then. So yeah, I did look young. Because I was young, and now I'm not. I'm old and fat. So I'm over it. But yeah, if you're a collector of Funko Pops, keep hold of them. They might go up in value. But not some to me as well, though. Jasper Carrot. I've supported Birmingham City for years. It's character building. Like being mugged every Saturday. And people are saying the same thing at the minute about Wigan Athletic. Although I know very little about football. But people are not overly impressed. I'm not saying girls use... or anyone, men as well, use filters on Instagram and other dating apps. But yeah, girls be like, yep. Meanwhile, a toddler locks himself inside a car and laughs as firefighters desperately try and get him out. Don't know how, why. Why was a toddler in a car on his own anyway? My name is End. It's Keir Starmer dressed as James Bond. My name is End. Bellend. Yep, we know, mate. We've known for a long while. We've known him before he got elected. Again, if you look back to the pre-election versions of this show, you'll see that I predicted that it would be bad. Not as bad as it turned out to be. Even I couldn't predict it was going to be this shite, but anyway. On screen, Captain, we've just been contacted by the dumbest life form in our known galaxy. Captain Cook says on screen, and there's Keir Starmer on the screen. Yeah. Tip for dog owners. Dogs are not allowed to roam free nowadays. And there's a dog there that's just wandering around on its own. Can't see anyone else with it. So yeah, amazing. As your Member of Parliament expressed regret over the delay in the release of GTA 6. Only one country truly understands gamers' pain. Poland officially sad about the Grand Theft Auto 6 GTA 6 delay during a brief MP statement segment in Poland's parliament. One of the MPs took to the podium and jokingly called the reported GTA 6 delay a huge scandal, adding that if after something like this people don't take to the streets, I don't know. It was tongue-in-cheek, not a formal government stance, just so we're clear on that one. The Polish government is not going to go to war over it. This is an amazing photograph. It's basically a Formula One car mid-crash. So you've got, if I can do this right, you've got the halo there, that's where the driver sat. You've got one of the wheels here, you've got another wheel, over there. You've got another wheel, which is a rear wheel, I think, which is that one. And then you've just got carbon fibre absolutely everywhere. The driver walked away from this and managed to compete later on that day in the qualifying for the race, and qualified quite well. I mean, not in the top 10, but quite well for the car. But yeah, amazing photograph, and shows you the safety of Formula One cars these days, because even in the time I've been watching Formula One, that would have been a life-ending crash. Meanwhile, before and after, so you got a picture there, top left, cocaine, you got a picture of a young lady and then having been on cocaine. You got alcohol, mugshot of a guy who, before and after, he was alcoholic. Crack cocaine, the bottom left, and then Ferrari, which is Lewis Hamilton. Yes, Lewis Hamilton, not going well. Meanwhile, throwback to when my kid ate whatever I made him for dinner without complaining. You know what kids are like. And basically it's just a scan of a fetus in a womb. Remember back in the day when you all thought P. Burns looked weird? Now all your missuses look like him. And that is not true. Not untrue, sorry. Pete Burns was in the Big Brother house. Sadly no longer with us. And looked, at the time, quite ridiculous. But now, yeah, the majority of, I'd say over 50% of people under the age, women under the age of, say, 27, look very similar to that these days. The other one's a goth. It's very extreme, one extreme to the other. Corporate jargon. So we like a bit of corporate jargon, although none of us know what it means. So number one, let's park this. That's a good idea. Shall we move on? No. Touch base. Let's get in contact with each other. Circle back. Come round again. Be aligned. We should think a bit like the cabinet. They need to be aligned. Mission critical. The cabinet needs to be aligned. That is mission critical. Reinvent the wheel. Get a new cabinet. Low hanging fruit. The cabinet. Move the needle. Move the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. Yeah. Get it on the donkey's ass. Put a pin in this. Remember it. Peel back the onion, because there's more underneath. We need to find out what's going on within what the problem is. North Star, no idea. Take this offline. They can't do that. Double down on that. Next gen solution. Get all our ducks in a row. Blue sky thinking. That's what the BBC have been trying to do, but it's been red sky thinking. Key ingredients to this mission are, well, we need to have a human there. Loop in. Let's pivot on this, and let's have a deep dive. A deep dive. Let's not, though. I met Pete Burns, Alan. Alan? You met Pete Burns? That's quite impressive. Google might catch you escaping prison, but they'll blur your face, because Google ain't no snitch. There's a picture there of a guy in what looks like prison fatigues, running, and, true to form, they blurred his face out. Peel back the onion, I thought on hearing it before I meant time to cry. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Ewoks are homeless care bears that lost their magical powers and got Dropped on smack. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Have you ever done face swap with people? It's weird, isn't it? Now, this is probably AI generated, although technically face swap is AI anyway. People celebrated what would have been Richard Burton's 100th birthday on Monday, just gone, and the following day celebrated what would have been Drew Whitfield's 100th birthday. Alright. Angela met Robbie Coltrane. Okay. He's going to get his money. X marks the spot. It's the crim. Yeah, he's trying to catch up with the truck so he can get his pickaxe out. And Marty Pello as well. Very good. I wish I'd met him. You know, I was wishing I was so lucky. Wishing I was lucky. Ah, I feel it on my finger as it slides up your bum, 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 bum. No, that's not the words, is it? Marty Yellow. I knew what you meant though. That was a weird thing. He met Robbie Coltrane as well. Who's the most famous person I've met? Oh, I've said it before. It was Heather Small of M People. I sold a hay fax machine when I worked at Dixon's. Anyway, you were talking about Robbie Coltrane. Face swap with Thomas the Tank Engine, who's a train. And yeah, that is one of the creepiest things I think I've ever seen. Have you ever thought about doing karaoke? I've been banned from doing karaoke, even though I've never done it. All you need for a Winnie the Pooh costume is a red t-shirt and courage. I might do that for my next Halloween costume. Britain is bracing for dramatic winter onslaught as weather charts point at a colossal 420-mile wall of snow expected to sweep across large swathes of the UK just as temperatures plummet towards minus 7 degrees centigrade. It's a mega 420-mile wall of snow, and it's going to destroy Britain. I met Erika Johnson when she opened a phone shop in Wigan. Please leave the singing to the professionals. Excuse me, I've got a good voice. Middle of next week, apparently. Wednesday onwards. We won't get it. We don't get it in Wigan. Research says a potential genetic disorder could have resulted in Hitler having a micropenis, which would explain why he was such an angry man. And DNA may prove if Hitler really only had one ball, and the other, apparently, is not in the Albert Hall. So there you go. Something to do with a genetic disorder where the genitalia do not grow to their full potential. Very familiar with that. But anyway, I'm over it. God, who knew I had something in common with Hitler? That's not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. Meanwhile, we've got the breaking news, and there's shed loads of it. So I can't. When I'm doing the breaking news, I can't actually see what you're saying. The BBC apologises to Donald Trump and says there isn't a basis for a defamation case, but there isn't there? The UK economy growth slows ahead of a budget. They're blaming Jaguar Land Rover. I'm like, maybe not. Nope, we're not doing that. The Kremlin-backed dictator controlling the flow of migrants to the UK. Oh, so Russia's involved, is it? Black Friday. I hate Black Friday. Now, Black Friday is massive in America because the gifting season in America, more than Christmas, is Thanksgiving, and they have Thanksgiving towards the end of November. The Friday after that, all the shops have still got stock left for the big gifting things, so they have a sale, which gets rid of them. Clears the stock, and then people will use them for, doing other stuff, which is nice. But what gets me is, in Britain, our gifting season is Christmas. So why would you have a sale at the time of the year when you're actually going to sell the stuff that you are going to make money on? And why don't we have Black Friday as the first Friday after Christmas? People have got money, they want the sales, bargains to be had. Makes no sense. What makes even less sense is when Black Friday first come along, it was like a shop would have a pallet of TVs at a discount price, or kettles, or a shop would have 10 games that normally sell at 40 quid for 10 quid, and that kind of thing, limited. And it'd be first come, first served, you're too late, but we've still got all this other stuff, buy all that. But no, we don't get Black Friday deals on Black Friday, we get Black Friday month deals, we then get Black Friday fortnight deals, and we get Black Friday weekend deals off all these different companies. And then they moan that they're not making money. Well, you're not making money because you're selling stuff at a discount price before you need to do that. You need to do that after Christmas. That's one of the reasons why Game went bust, because they'd have Black Friday deals long before Christmas, and they'd lose money because people would buy the stuff on the Black Friday deals and then not go back to the shop at Christmas. Please like the button, everyone. The BBC can't afford the money Trump is asking for. True, Hitler was due to meet Churchill when Churchill visited Germany in 1934, but Hitler pulled out at the last minute. He probably never even got it in. You said this last year, Mr. T. I know, I say every year. Forecast for you girls, thanks for the happy news, Stephen. Black Friday is another American import like Trick or Treat. Asda would bring in about 3 pallets all wrapped in black, and they went on the racking until Black Friday, so nothing on offer came from the store. Yeah, you're right, but now it's just everywhere. It's just ridiculous. It's like Black Friday deals available until December the 24th. What the friggin' are you on about? No. Anyway, let's go back to the news. Oh, what's that? Formula 1 season extended. All teams to postpone their holidays. This season's extended. Why? Russia in flames as Ukraine launches massive blitz with bombs and drones. It's good to see Ukraine actually hitting targets in Russia, including oil facilities and energy facilities as well, because that's what the Russians are doing to Ukraine. England beat Serbia 2-0, who cares? People worried that Coronation Street wasn't on today. Well, it's because England were on, wasn't it? UK travel agent goes bust as trips cancel amid urgent message to customers. Pat Evans, EastEnders Christmas return confirmed. EastEnders? She died in EastEnders, didn't she? I don't know. Jaguar Land Rover hack to blame for weaker economies, says Rachel Reeves. It's never your fault, is it, you stupid bint? Jane McDonnell shares announcement, as fans say, best news ever. Does that mean she's quitting TV? Wagner Group boss who staged Putin coup before brutal plane death is 100% still alive. Well, yeah, I think we figured that one out already. Hundreds of thousands to lose heat pump subsidies in Reeves' budget plans. Keir Starmer faces fresh general election if Labour rebels pull off coup against the PM. We need a general election because they have not honoured any of their manifestos, and if Rachel from Accounts comes up with bullshit tax rises that they said they were definitely not doing in this parliament, then they have failed. I wrote about it in the paper this week. Now, the King can dissolve Parliament. He's got the power to do it. Sadly, only if the Prime Minister asks him to do so. No. Ryanair passengers given bin bag by staff during embarrassing airport ordeal. Oh, does that mean the toilets were broke? Kelly Brook opens up about best decision to split from Jason Statham. Who cares? Ban on no-fault evictions will begin in May, government announces, so there's going to be less properties for rent because all the renters will... It's not worth having people if people are not paying rent or not doing anything and you need to do stuff, you can't evict people. Then, no, they'll sell their houses. So that means rents will go up. This government haven't got a fucking clue. Sarah Sharif, horrific failings that led to schoolgirl's murder exposed, including social workers going around the day before she was murdered to see if she was okay, and went to the wrong address. PM can't afford to sack McSweeney. MP say as new coup rumours swirl. Storm Claudia to bring floods to Britain. So they've named it Claudia Winkleman. Mahmood to scrap failed experiment of police and crime commissioners. Rita Ora supports our winter appeal, growing up a refugee-shaped me. What? That's the Evening Standard. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin launches huge rocket after solar storm delays, and that was spectacular, to be fair. Watching it live land on a platform in the middle of the sea. It's very, very impressive. But when the shops say that there's a sale up 70% off, you don't actually get 70%, it's all a con. It's the words up to. Up to. 10% is up to 70%. They're not lying. So yeah. The new Wigan Market Hall apparently is going to be smaller than originally planned. Really? You don't say. Tax rises can be very taxing. That's also true. Very good. Thank you, Stato. Yes, I've actually filmed the Market Hall build today. And yeah, it's looking... well, interesting. I spoke to someone who'd spoke to one of the workers, and they said it won't be open by Christmas next year because they don't think, the contractors don't think that Wigan Council have got the money to finish it. So they've started it, but they haven't got the money to finish it. But obviously that's not public knowledge. And I only heard it second hand, so it's taken that with a pinch of salt. Although I did notice the big crane that's been used to move the girders around was being packed up this afternoon at dinner time. So I'm going to have a look around tomorrow and see if there's a new crane. Although to be fair, there probably won't be a new crane tomorrow. It'll probably be Monday next week. So I'll probably leave it till Monday next week and have a look. Wigan Council screwing up, never. There was an interesting video on Facebook. A petition in August was rejected by the House of Commons to dissolve Parliament and have a general election. You are right, Stato. The thing is, we can't just have general elections all the time. We end up like Italy, where nothing ever gets done, or France, where nothing ever gets done. Because you have coalition governments who don't trust each other, and that's the worrying thing. But no, there was a video of a councillor stood outside Hay Hall, very uncomfortable in front of the camera, talking about all the stuff that's gone on. Didn't mention Hay Hall behind him, mentioned the plantation, mentioned the gardens and things like that. And I'm like, we want the hall doing, we don't care about the other stuff. And to be honest, if you're mentioning them, why are you not stood next to that monstrosity slug thing that's been put up? You can see it on the thumbnails of my Wigan Watch and Wigan Walks videos, and the rubble crown tree amphitheatre shite. Why aren't you there rather than in front of the thing that you failed on? I mean, you couldn't write it. Ended up being shipping containers, Wigan New Open Air Market. Yeah, it will be. And the hotel will be containers stacked on top of each other, won't it? with rope ladders going up to them. Yeah, I mean, it's just absolute nonsense. Absolute nightmare what's going on at the minute. But, I mean, like you said, what do we expect? So where things are going, it's just, yeah, terrible. Anyway, how are we doing? No, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Has anyone else got any comments to make? Should I have a look at more breaking news? Because the news is breaking as I speak. So let's refresh the stories. Aldi announces 16 stores opening. Blow to motorist after driver who could not see 40 mile an hour sign convicted. Okay. The Independent say Starmer's shambles in number 10 will hand Farage power. Oh God. Metro are reporting a girl 17 stabbed to death in front of her mum at home. Big change for anyone walking through Liverpool city centre. They've cut all the shoplifters. I don't know. Doctors issue alarming health warnings over eating food from dented tins. Bolton helicopter crashes, witness see aircraft spinning and falling from the sky. It's a micro helicopter. Hopefully everyone will be okay, but I do fear, because it's one of them little helicopters, not a big one, and it was from a height. TV chef dies after helicopter crashes into power lines. Don't think it's a British TV chef. Dozens of UK homes evacuated and major security alert as pipe bombs found. Car ends up stuck vertically on a pole after high-speed chase. Oh dear me. Fox News airs breaking Trump health alert as president assessed by radiologists. Oh dear. Thousands of NHS staff redundancies to go ahead after funding agreed. So basically, I kind of agree and disagree with this, but a lot of the middle managers are being fired off from, was it NHS England? Because they're just £100,000 salaries. What they're doing, God knows. So yeah, they've all been fired off, but they'll get redundancy, which costs billions. You can't win, can you? Trump avoids press and questions over Epstein fallout. They're all the same. So yeah, that's it really. So no more breaking news. They should have got one. Astley cruise ship builders would have been finished in a month. That general election cost £5 million to run, and every time we have one it goes up. Yeah. If reform were to be voted in Wigan, how does that work with the council staff? Are they all redundant and who selects new council members? No. With the staff, so if you're a refuse collector, bin man, road sweeper, librarian, work at the life centre, you're a lifeguard for the, for the pool or whatever, you're employed by the council, so you do not lose your job. The council is run by the councillors, but the majority of people who work for the council are employed by the council, so it's run as a business. So if, say for example, it was an all-out election like it was a few years ago, so all 3 councillors from each ward were up for re-election, and all 3 of them in every ward went to Reform or Independent, and there was no Labour ones left, that would not mean anyone would automatically lose their job, but it would mean a shift in policies. So, for example, if it was reform, one would assume that there'd be a massive fight against HMOs, hotel with migrants in, that kind of thing. Also, they want to get rid of all the stuff with equal rights and LGBT plus and all that nonsense as well. So there might be a few people who lose their jobs there, who are in those departments. But your bin man, your normal workers, your librarians and everything won't lose their jobs straight away. So the people behind the councillors are officers, council officers, not officers, actual human beings, officers like police officers, and they don't lose their jobs either. But there may be some who resign because they don't want to work for a reform or other council. They don't believe that they could work for that or whatever. But generally, overall, they would not lose their jobs automatically. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the councils that have been taken over by reform. There's not many of them. And they have cut out a lot of expenditure that was not needed. But that doesn't mean that they're doing well. So it depends who you ask. Some people are saying they're terrible, they're the worst council that we've ever had, and other people are saying it makes a refreshing change. What worries me if they get into government, what worries me when they get into government, is the fact that they are pretty much a one-trick pony. It's all about the migrants and everything. Now that needs sorting out, and they need someone with more balls than Adolf Hitler to actually sort it out. Now whether or not they can do that, I don't know, but they'll give it a go, I would have thought. But the problem is, what about the economy? What about schools? What about the hospitals? What about the NHS? All that kind of thing. All that is up, which is why I would say they're a one-trick pony. And they change their minds on policies like all governments do. I mean, they're on about, tax cuts and everything, and now they're saying, oh, actually, we can't do tax cuts, which is correct. Reform will make public pay for their NHS treatment. Yes, that's what I mean. They want to privatise the NHS. Have you ever watched, and I never did because I was too young, but if you ever watched Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, the civil servants, they're the ones who basically run it. And I did catch an episode of it earlier on this year or last year. And there was a guy talking to the main character. I don't know whether he was Prime Minister at the time or whether he was just an MP. But the main character, and this guy's talking to him saying, look, we need to stop advertising of cigarette brands. Remember, this was in the 70s, 80s, where cigarette advertising was, all over the place. And this guy said, people are seeing cigarette advertising in sports and thinking, that it sponsors racing or snooker or whatever, and they think it's okay to smoke. And obviously it's not okay to smoke because you get cancer, you get illness, you can get all this kind of thing. It's putting a strain on the NHS, and blah-de-blah-de-blah, and giving all these reasons why advertising on TV, in papers, and brand advertising for sponsorships should not go ahead and should be stopped. And the main character, like I say, the PM or the MP, was kind of going, oh yeah, that makes sense actually, yeah, okay. So anyway, the guy leaves, civil servant walks in, and the MP PM says, I've just saw that guy. He's very switched on. He knows about these cigarette advertising. And the civil servant goes, right, what do you mean? He says, well, we've got advertising on TV, advertising in papers, and you've got sponsorships of sport. The civil servant goes, yes. He says, well, that's encouraging people to smoke, which is bad for the health, and therefore puts a strain on the NHS. And this is where civil servants come in, because this is how people think. This is how you can twist things. And the civil servant says, yes, but think, if we reduce the number of people smoking, we won't get as much tax to pay for the NHS. And if more people are smoking, they're more likely to die younger, which will put less strain on the NHS. So therefore, we need more people smoking to take the strain off the NHS and to pay for the NHS from the taxes they're paying on the cigarettes. And you're like, that's just bonkers. But that's exactly what's going on currently in number 10 Downing Street. It's like when the government changes, the civil servants stay and the people in power at the local authority level. Yeah, my mum's old enough to remember when you paid the doctor to come round to the house and do treatment. It was I think it was a penny or not a lot of money, but he come round on horseback because he didn't have a car, and you'd pay him a nominal amount of money, and he'd come and do the treatment and everything before the NHS was formed. So yeah, she remembers that when she was little. I mean, the NHS is not suitable for what it needs reform, but it doesn't need privatising. I think getting rid of the middlemen and all the managers is a good thing, but maybe not all the managers. We do need some because it's quite complex, but we don't need as many as we did. And as I've said before, in the 1980s when I worked in hospital kitchens at Tameside Hospital, we had one big kitchen there, we had a small kitchen, and then we had two satellite kitchens. Each one of them had a head cook, head chef, all of them. So there was 4 head chefs, and there were 3 managers of the catering departments, but we never had enough staff to run the kitchens. So it's insane. Doctors proclaim that they are so busy it's not true. Well, my practice is still using COVID days. Should be called IHS, International Health Service. Yeah, you're not wrong. But no, it is interesting in the fact that the NHS and the prescriptions and all that, it's done differently in Scotland. Yeah, I was only using that as an example of a TV show, but it is right. But how much did they pay in taxes? Yeah. So if it costs £9 billion to treat them, how much do they pay in taxes a year? If it's 10 billion, then we're up on the deal. So the civil servant was right. No. Any road. I've turned my heating on, and I think it might be on now till March with this weather coming, but it's not been on properly, so I'm very upset by that. Wait for Stato to come back with some stats. Anyway, that is it. I just want a good and happy world. Yeah, your first 3 letters of your name are sad. What is the dentist compliance practice called? I don't know, I don't have a dentist. Can you not tell? Don't encourage smoking, bad for your health. Yeah, like the civil servant said on the comedy programme. I forgot to mention it was a comedy programme. If people wish to smoke and die early, that takes a lot of pressure off the NHS. Shh. You can twist anything. I mean, literally twist anything around. It's what politics is about, isn't it? Just twisting things. Anyway, let's have a look at our top fans, shall we? So number 1 place is Stato with 100 points. DT in second with 100. Alan in third with 75. Angela in fourth with 75. Sadis Manser 75 in fifth, and VBRL Virtual Banger Racing 75 as well in sixth place. So you were the people who did the most of the chatting there, like, didn't you? Oh, good old mank. I need to speak to someone in regards to my dental practice treating me like garbage. Yeah, I don't know. You probably go on a government website. There'll be something on there. But like I say, I've not been to the dentist for 20 years. So, yeah. Mind you, I've not been to a doctor for nearly 50 years. Actually, in summer next year, if I don't go to the doctor between now and then, I won't have been to a doctor for myself for 50 years. Which is quite impressive. I don't know if it's impressive or incredibly stupid, but I'd sooner not know what's wrong with me. Most people I know who've ended up going to the doctors who are quite healthy end up on loads of tablets and everything and are never the same again. So I'll take my chances, thank you very much. So yeah, we've had 39 people watching, average of 1605. Got 7 likes, 13 people watching at the minute, and I've been on for an hour and 10 minutes, exactly when I said 10 minutes. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. Oh, you are. Um, I will be seeing you. Until next time. Bye.